Good day, class!
Good morning, ma'am.
Alright, so once again, I am teacher Shastah Perez, and for today, we are going to be discussing about the lesson on facts and opinions. So before we formally start our discussion, let's have a small activity first. So this is what we call the Identify the Statements game. So the mechanics are very simple. I have here 4 statements, and you are going to identify whether each statement or whether the statement is true or maybe. So instead of a true or false, we modified it a little bit. That instead of answering false, you will answer true or maybe. So are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, so the first statement we have, your heart pumps blood through your body. Is it true or maybe?
It is true, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Number 2, Nike is more useful than Adidas. Is it true or maybe?
It is maybe, ma'am.
Okay, very good. And the third statement, it is better to live in Singapore than in Japan.
It is also maybe, ma'am.
Okay, and last but not the least, people use their legs to walk. Is it true or maybe?
It is true, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So I can see that you have prior knowledge already about our lesson for today. Okay, so let us now start our formal discussion. So in today's discussion, this is going to be the overview. So number 1, a fact is a statement that is proven to be true. Number 2, an opinion is a stated preference or an idea or a belief, no, that the opinion may vary from source to source and person to person. So what we did earlier, which was the activity, is in line with today's lesson, which is a fact or an opinion. So remember the statements in which you answered true. So those true statements are factual statements, so they are facts. And the ones that you answered maybe are actually opinions or opinionated statements. So what can we get from this? So critical thinking is the best possible way of determining which statements are fact and which statements are opinion. So earlier you used your critical thinking ability skills to determine whether the statement is true or a maybe. So did you get something out of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now let's further define what is a fact, and let's also discuss a few examples. So number 1, a fact or facts are simple statements used to inform or make an argument. So those are statements that are used to inform, to give information, or to give an argument, to give an argument. So in order to identify what is a factual statement or what are facts, we have a few questions that we have to ask, no? And if they answer the questions, then that statement is indeed a fact. So the first question, can the statement be proved or demonstrated to be true? So we can identify a factual statement if it can be proven or it can be demonstrated as true. The second question, can the statement be observed in practice or operation? So in order to identify a factual statement, you have to ask, can this be observed or can this be practiced? So if it answers that question, then yes, that is a factual statement. The third question, can you see it happen? So this is a very important question. Can you see it happen? Can you see it happening in the real world? If it answers yes, then of course, what is it?
It is a fact, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So you were listening. And we have the last question, which is, can the statement be verified by witnesses, manuscripts, or documents? So we can identify a factual statement when it has a proof, when it is backed up by documents, by other people or manuscripts. So if a statement can be proven by backed up evidence, then that is a fact, or that is a factual statement. So I have here 4 examples of facts. So kindly read the 4 examples, please.
Okay, the first example. The leaves of growing plants are usually green. The second one. 1 liter of water weighs 1 kilogram. The third. There are 50 states in the United States. And fourth, the capital of Ukraine is Kyiv.
Okay, so very good. Now, so those statements which I made read, so those are factual statements. Now, I'm going to ask you, the first statement, you read, the leaves of growing plants are usually green. Why is this statement a fact? Why is this true?
Because it is proven by science that plants have something in them called the chlorophyll, which makes the leaves green.
Okay, very good. How about this statement? The capital of Ukraine is Kiev. Kiev. Why is it a fact?
Because it is backed up by documents and articles stating that Kyiv is the capital of Ukraine.
Okay, so very good. So that is those are the examples. No, and those, it's very important that we question why, no, so that we know if it's a fact or an opinion. Okay. Now let's head on, or let's move on to opinions. So, unlike facts, opinions are useful to persuade, but careful readers and listeners will notice and demand evidence to back them up. So, unlike facts, di ba ganiha? Facts are used to give information. They are backed up by proof, by science, di ba? Here, opinions, they vary. They are subjective. They depend on each person. So my opinions will be different. Your opinions will be different. So unlike facts, they're not absolute truth. No? Because what's right to me might not be right to you. Diba? Okay, so there are 2 types of words, no, that we can use to identify what opinions. So we have first are the biased words. So what are the biased words? So the biased words are words including bad, worse, worst, good, better, best, worthwhile, worthless, and many more. So those are examples of biased words. Now the second type of words in which we can identify opinions is the qualifiers. So words like all, always, likely, never, might seem, probably, should. So these are words under the category of qualifiers. So if you can see these words in a statement, then you can say that those statements are opinions. They are not facts. They are merely opinions. Okay? So, did you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's proceed. Again, I have 4 examples. I have 4 statements, and I want you to read each one.
Okay. So for the first example in the opinion, the cake tastes delicious. The second one, she looks sad. Third, my history teacher hates me. And fourth, I prefer using Facebook to Twitter because Twitter has limited characters per caption.
Okay, so thank you. Very good. Now, I want to ask you the first statement. You said the cake tastes delicious. Now, why do you think that's an opinion?
Because different people have different preferences, so it is only up to them to decide whether a cake is truly delicious or not.
Okay, very good, no? You've explained that very well. Okay, so we're nearing the end. So what is the importance? Now, why did you have to learn facts and opinions? Why do we have to know how to differentiate facts from opinions? So, to answer that, it is important now for learners to be able to recognize differences between facts and opinions so that They know what to believe and what to consider as someone's perspective. So it's very important that we learn this, or that you students learn this, because you have to be able to differentiate what is true and what is simply the perception of other people, what is true information and what is simply someone trying to persuade you. That's very important, no, that we have to know how to differentiate facts from opinions. So separating fact from opinion is essential to interpreting information intelligently. So when you try to separate, when you try to identify facts from opinions, you are using your critical thinking skills. You are analyzing the sentences, no? So that's that's the very reason we have to learn. Okay, so now that we have discussed the premises of facts or opinions, I hope you learned something, huh? So, in order to test your abilities, whether you have learned something, I have prepared another activity. So, please get your notebook. Okay, so the activity will be very simple, no? Again, I have 6 sets of statements, and 3 of the statements is a fact, and 3 of the statement is an opinion. So what I want you to do is you identify the facts and line them up in the same manner, like this: 1, 2, 3, the facts. And then in the bottom part, I want you to identify the opinions. So you will arrange them. 1, 2, 3. Okay, time's up. So I hope you have answered correctly. Okay, so that ends our discussion for today. I hope you learned something, no? So the key points to be taken away is that facts are backed up by evidence and documents, while opinions are simply based on people's beliefs. It's simply based on their preferences, so it will vary from person to person. So those are some of the things we have to learn, especially in our life, especially when you get to the real world. You have to know how to differentiate facts and opinions. So alright, that ends our discussion for today. God bless everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.